Today, a federal judge temporarily blocked a White House order to halt billions of dollars in federal grants. Utah lawmakers say they don't yet know the full impact of the Trump administration's plan, but they're working right now to learn more.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this. I mean, it is a shock.
Utah Senate President J. Stewart Adams says they're still analyzing possible impacts, but he's billing it as a wake-up call.
We've walked through challenges before. I'll never forget with COVID. We cut our entire budget. I mean, we passed a budget in 2020, and then we just cut the whole thing. Yeah. And somehow the state survived that year. But we can walk through this together. And again, I don't know that it's preferable, but we have a federal government that has a deficit that's unmanageable. They tend to spend. And so maybe this is a shock that a wake-up call that we all need to look at.
In the next fiscal year, Utah's budget is projected to include more than $7.7 billion in federal money, making up roughly 28% of the state's $28.12 billion in projected revenue. On federal payment processing websites today, several states, including Utah, reported error messages like this, warning of delays and/or rejections of payment. The Utah Department of Health and Human Services said this: "Until we know more, we will continue to operate as normal. We're working within the state's executive branch to figure out what this means for those we serve." Universities like the U of U, UVU, and USU say they're in assessment mode too. USU's media director said this: "What we do know so far is that the U.S. Department of Education has clarified this funding freeze does not impact student federal loans or Pell Grants. However, with more than a third of USU's revenue coming from federal contracts, grants, and federal appropriations, we're still assessing other potential impacts on our education, research, and outreach." From the Democrats' perspective, the federal freeze has caused unnecessary alarm and confusion.
Huge concerns on Medicaid and CHIP for kiddos, and obviously more vulnerable communities, people with disabilities. And apparently SNAP is not going to be touched with this freeze. But there's concerns right now. So you have a lot of the agencies that usually help a lot of the working poor families trying to figure out and not panic at this situation.
Utah's nonprofits are also raising alarm.
Most nonprofits are thinly staffed and thinly funded. So what could happen is that nonprofits will have to shutter their doors, some permanently, some temporarily. But whenever a nonprofit closes, it hurts the community. We also employ 6.7% of Utah's non-farm, non-government workforce. So increasing our unemployment in our state also has downstream impacts on our state's economy.
All sorts of people are wondering what could happen here. The federal judge blocked the policy from taking effect until February 3rd. A hearing is also set for that morning. We could learn more details then. We will pass that along to you just as soon as we get those details.